A plane crashed headfirst into a cottage on a rice field. The ground was shaken by the great impact. The children and women in Snake Mountain all rushed out of their houses to see what had happened. Snake Mountain was surrounded by towering mountains, making it difficult for outsiders to discover. Only the villagers of Snake Mountain were aware of its precise location. A woman with a headscarf passed through snapped and smashed banyan trees. On the ground lay an injured man whose face and legs were covered in blood, lifeless. The bloody smell prompted the woman to retch. Her children, clung to the hems of their mother's skirts, were crying and covering their mouths and noses. The woman was startled by the scene before her, as wreckage emitted a burning smell and suffocating fumes, making it even more unbearable for people to remain in the area. "Help, help," the pilot murmured with a grimace, fainting at the scene. Scattered fuselages and components littered the ground, while a large crater marked the crash site. More villagers hurried to the scene, covering their mouths as they approached.
In the faraway, a young man dashed to rescue and called out to the head of the village. "Guam, plane crash!" "Hurry!" A worried expression crossed the face of an elderly man as he emerged from the house. He seemed dead already. His leg was twisted, and his face was fractured, with blood covering it. "What should we do now?" The young man trembled, gazing at the injured man. "We need to get help from the outside. Tell Taylor to drive her car here," Chief Guam, the sexagenarian, demanded. The converged villagers stared open-mouthed at the injured man, terrified by the scene. This was a secluded village located in extremely rugged terrain on the perimeter of the hilltop of the Andes in the Amazon basin. People here had a self-sufficient life. These villagers relocated from an urban city to find inner peace and a safe sanctuary in which they could keep to themselves. After more than 20 years of intrigues within a prominent family, some individuals reached their breaking point and decided to sever their ties with the wealthy household. They took their babies and relocated to Snake Mountain. They cultivated their rice, and raised alpacas, sheep, and cattle in the reaches of Snake Mountain. It looked like a snake's head, and its winding paths are like a snake's moving body. The water from it was uncontaminated. The door was never closed at night. Dogs lay on the ground lazily.
Taylor drove her truck here, while two villagers propped the man in the armpits and dragged him onto the back seat of the truck. Taylor floored the accelerator and arrived at Dr. Yang's clinic within 30 minutes. It was as if a racing car sped across the finishing line. "He needs to go to a big hospital immediately," Dr. Yang said after the examination. "Let me contact the hospital. Ask them to send a helicopter here." Dr. Yang was the solely certified doctor within an 80-mile radius of Snake Mountain. He could perform some surgeries on needy patients, yet this time all he could do was just staunch the bleeding and relay it to the big hospital. A nurse was sent in to administer an intravenous drip to the injured man while Dr. Young swiftly cut off the torn shirt and used a hemostatic clamp to control the bleeding. The pilot, named Michael, was immediately hospitalized in Lima and underwent surgery. The crash arose the suspension in Guam's mind. Due to the location of the village, no one seemed interested in such a mysterious place and even drew attention to visit here. Why did the young guys come here and even had a crash here? Guam pondered. A howling roared in the distance as Guam looked at two little Peruvian Inca orchid puppies, stroking them affectionately.
After 11 months, the pilot made a full recovery and returned to the village with a successful facial reconstruction. Standing 5.9 feet tall, he possessed finely chiseled features. As Michael set foot on the land of Snake Mountain, a mixture of solemnness and happiness superseded by nervousness. He visited the head of the village and gave a lot of costly and good quality fruits and snacks to the people.
He said he was a backpacker in his late 20s who had gotten lost on his way back home and narrowly escaped a dangerous situation due to his own foolish mistake. Thank you so much for your kind help. Gracias. I couldn't have made it without your assistance. Tears welled up in Michael's eyes as he tightly grasped Guam's arm. I used to be a pilot and had traveled the world for a while. I never imagined that I would crash on an unknown mountain, causing you so much trouble. Come on. Don't be like this. It's in our blood. Guam replied jokingly. We are here to save the damsel in distress. Michael chuckled, rendered speechless by the lame joke. How's the leg now? The chief gently asked. I'm good now. I can run just like I used to, Michael assured. This is Taylor. She is the one who took you to the doctor. You should meet her. The chief gently ushered Taylor to the table where Michael settled. Hi, it's so nice to see you here. Taylor beamed at Michael and flushed a little bit. Are you fully recovered now? Yes, I feel all right now. Thank you for what you did for me. I really appreciate it, Michael said gratefully. He took an instant liking to this girl and reddened involuntarily. Michael possessed a strong build and a charismatic smile on his face. In the past, he had a fling with a spoiled young lady who constantly demanded gifts as proof of true love. However, they eventually broke up after a fight. But this girl was different. She exuded an aura of kindness and sincerity. Michael was amazed by her beautiful radiant countenance and captivating smile. Michael held an extravagant banquet that day to express gratitude. Villagers were assembled in the center of the courtyard of Guam. Guam stood up and raised a glass in front of the audience. Today we gather here to celebrate the recovery of this young man, Michael, and also to Michael.
Gracias por tu hospitalidad.
I hope you can have abundant life and get a girlfriend soon. Ha ha ha. Guam teased wickedly. Michael felt embarrassed, forcing a smile. Everyone laughed out loud.